World's in trouble right now.
Have you thought about going vegan?
What? Why?
Going plant-based is the #1 thing you can do to take care of yourself.
JP, where'd you get this guy? Stereotypes are us? I mean, if you're gonna stereotype vegans, you might as well put them in an awesome vegan shirt. I'll take it from here, man.
Bro, there's a deadly virus taking over the world right now. How would staying away from that not be the #1 thing you can do to take care of yourself?
Bro, the best thing you could do is stop a pandemic from happening in the first place. COVID came from eating bats. HIV came from hunting monkeys. Swine flu came from eating pigs. Bird flu came from poultry. I mean, the common cold, flu, comes from livestock. You have antibiotic resistance because of livestock. You have E. coli that comes from animal feces. The cesspools run into the ocean. It runs into the rivers. It gets in our water supply. You can stop all that by stopping animal agriculture and using animals as products. So the best thing you can do for a pandemic is to stop it from happening in the first place.
The superfoods are $49 a pop. People can't afford that. There's 36 million people unemployed right now. The economy's ruined. Parents are struggling just to put scraps on the table for their kids.
Superfoods? I mean, I'm a single income father in a family of 4. We live in one of the most expensive cities in the country. We live in our RV because rent just isn't affordable. We buy beans, soy, produce. We buy like the least expensive thing in the grocery store, and pound for pound, dollar for dollar, it's got the most nutrients. To say that we can't be vegan because we can't afford it is false, and to use people's economic struggles to push that agenda is really sad. I would never push veganism on somebody that couldn't afford it. I wish our country would build a system that fed people healthy foods, no matter how much they could afford.
Bro, police are killing black people in the streets all over the place. And you crusading for animal rights while ignoring the inhumane treatment of black people makes you sound racist.
Nobody in the vegan community is ignoring police brutality or ignoring systemic racism. If anything, I've only seen support for it.
Let me stop you right there. Your animal lives matter propaganda is you being complicit with a systemic racism that's a disease in our country. Black Lives Matter.
I'm not sure where you got this animal lives matter propaganda from. I don't see vegans saying that because Black Lives Matter is definitely something that should not be watered down by All Lives Matter or Animal Lives Matter.
You using your little plant-based soapbox to stand up for animal rights but not the civil rights of black people is you supporting systemic racism through inaction.
You using Black Lives Matter to make fun of vegans is supporting systemic racism through distraction.
I think you're playing it safe in your plant-based crusader mission. Animals can fend for themselves. That's why they have antlers and horns.
Saying that animals can fend for themselves because they have antlers, that's not fair. I mean, pigs don't have antlers. We breed animals in cages. We raise them in cages and we slaughter them in cages. We do it to 70 billion animals every year. We use giant fishing nets and pull 2 trillion fish out of the ocean every year. Saying that animals can fend for themselves isn't fair. It would be like saying people can fend for themselves, so we might as well not care about people anymore. Why would you not care?
What if you found the courage to stand up for your fellow humans?
Have the courage to stick up for my fellow man? I will use my privilege and my voice to stick up for every single person that is being oppressed. I will speak up for everybody that doesn't have a voice.
We're living in the most stressful time of our generation, and you want to make people worry about an ultra-clean diet on top of their existing stress?
Veganism isn't a diet. I don't know where you get that from. I don't want to stress anybody out. I just want to help them care a little bit more about animals and see that we don't have to use them as products.
Dude, don't be so selfish.
Selfish? How is caring about animals selfish? I mean, ultimately it's about valuing an animal's life more than 15 seconds of palate pleasure.
You need to educate yourself. You know nothing about evolutionary biology. The human organism has to prioritize safety and security needs before nutritional needs. People don't feel safe right now. They can't pay their rent. Homes are getting foreclosed. Police are brutalizing people. Bill Gates is rolling up his sleeves. And there's the coronavirus.
Again, I just think you're misunderstanding what veganism's about. It's about just doing the best you can to eliminate animal products from your life. Do what you can do. Of course, if you're starving, you're going to eat what you need to eat. If you're in an area of complete stress, you're going to do what you need to do to survive. Luckily, I'm not out in the wilderness trying to survive. I haven't had to pick up a spear and hunt some food in probably about 10,000 years. And I'm gonna bring this up because I know you're gonna bring it up. You've been through every talking point of anti-veganism. It is not related to veganism because veganism is about eliminating animal products in your life. But a vegan diet, plant-based diet, has shown to be more environmentally friendly.
Conventional plant farming destroys the planet too. You shouldn't support either of them.
Yes, conventional agriculture is the worst way to make food for the environment. You bring up conventional plant farming. Well, most of conventional plant farming is actually fed to livestock. I think it's about 70 to 80% of monocrops are fed to livestock. You lose about 70% of calorie density when you feed that food to livestock and then eat the livestock in terms of just eating the plant foods instead. You could get a lot more calories out of just eating the plant foods per acre than you can out of growing plant foods, feeding it to livestock, and then eating the livestock. So you would actually need less conventional farming if everybody ate a plant-based diet.
Regenerative agriculture is where it's at, bro. The intentional farming ecosystem involving plants and animals actually regenerates the soil, therefore is better for the planet than your plants-only based farming. It actually heals the earth, but you gotta have the animals too.
See, that's where you're misinformed. Regenerative agriculture can actually be done without animals. You can use plant compost, you can cycle your crops to restore certain nutrients into the soil. And, I mean, if you really need feces, you can use your own. Haven't you seen The Martian? The dude grew potatoes on Mars using his own poop. You do not need to use animals for regenerative agriculture. It can be done with a plant-based lifestyle. How could you not know that we could do regenerative agriculture without using animals? And how could you possibly think that we could do it on a scale so large to feed 7 billion people? Conventional agriculture is what we got right now. And a plant-based version of that is the best option we have. It is the only way we can affordably feed people on the scale that we have to feed them on. Maybe one day we can push for these corporations to incorporate regenerative agriculture into what they do now and to heal this planet.
Dude, do you not want to heal the planet?
Dude, do you even care about healing the planet, or are you just using that as another talking point to make an anti-vegan video?
What's wrong with you, man?
What's wrong with you, man?
You need to get informed beyond the 3 primary outdated emotionally charged talking points you have so you can help take care of our planet. It's the only one we have.
Maybe instead of talking about my talking points, you should look at your own biased talking points. You've used Black Lives Matter and climate change to try to push an agenda that's anti-vegan.
And keep pretending that your all meat is factory farmed meat is an effective truth-based argument.
I'm not saying all meat is factory farmed meat. I look at the USDA. The USDA states that 75% of cows are factory farmed, 98% of pigs are factory farmed, 99% of poultry is factory farmed. I'm just going off of what the US Department of Agriculture is saying. I'm not making up an argument.
That's what you've been doing. You've been deceiving people with your nutritional information because you first deceived yourself by not studying anything that doesn't confirm your existing bias. Bro, you've got to love yourself more than that.
Again, veganism isn't about nutrition. I went plant-based because I researched nutrition. I went plant-based because I found out it was the best lifestyle to feed myself and be healthy for my children, and it was a great way to raise my children. Of course I've looked into nutrition. I mean, it's a very important part of our lives. We eat multiple times a day. I do it because I love myself and I love my family. I'm vegan because I love animals.
No, you don't.
How could you possibly tell somebody that they don't love themselves? I mean, what level of narcissism does that take?
You reject people that eat differently than you, which means you first had to have rejected yourself, probably by way of deceiving yourself. And that's not self-love, that's self-hate. I think you can do better than that.
I'm not rejecting anybody. The only reason I'm on social media is because I care about people. I care about connecting with them. I like to share my personal journey, my struggles, my thoughts, and maybe it'll inspire somebody to change something in their lives. I feel that you're trying to defer guilt on yourself and your own insecurities. I think that deep down you know that it's wrong to eat animals, and you're trying to use every excuse in the book to justify it. You should love yourself more than that, man.
Read the book The Secret Life of Plants. It proves that plants have feelings too. It's just they don't have a voice box or musculoskeletal system to express their feelings like humans or animals do, so it's easier for you to pretend that they don't have any feelings.
Yes, plants do not have a musculoskeletal system. They do not have vocal cords, but they also don't have a nervous system. And without a nervous system, biologically, they can't feel pain. They are not sentient. It would not make sense biologically for a plant to feel pain. We feel pain so that we can flee from it. If I touch something that's hot, I go, oh, that's hot, I can move my hand. If there was a fire, I can feel the fire. I can go, oh, that's not good, I'm gonna run away from it. A tree cannot do the same thing. It would not biologically make sense that a tree would feel pain and have to stay in the same spot as it burnt to death. They do react to stimuli though. Just like we react to stimuli when we go out in the sun, our bodies tell us to produce bilirubin and it gives us a tan. We actually have a nervous system and we don't even feel this process. So what makes you think that plants would feel it without a nervous system? Also, going back to the argument of plant agriculture and livestock, you need to grow so many more plants to feed livestock than if you just ate plants. So if you truly care about plants, eating a vegan lifestyle actually consumes less plants. So do you just hate plants, or are you just using another weak talking point?
But veganism isn't what you stand for.
You're right. I don't stand for veganism. I stand for more than that. I stand against all forms of oppression. I stand against the exploitation of people. I stand against the exploitation of animals. I stand against the exploitation of our planet. I stand against all of these things because you can care about multiple things. You can care about everyone and everything.
That's robust. Good talk.
Good talk.